be in here a little bit, Mom.
Okay, bye-bye. You're leaving?
Yeah.
See you later, kiddo. Make sure you're quiet. What's good, y'all? I'm Lonnie Appleton. I am a healthy family advocate, which means I advocate for the health and wellness for our families and communities. If we heal ourselves individually, we heal our families, we heal our community, we heal society, we heal the world, and collectively we can raise a vibration of our planet. It is presently 1, 2, 3, 4, and I am a little bit late because I had a meeting that I had to attend, but I am here. Today we are reading Exodus. I don't like the book of Exodus. The book of Exodus feels like a plant. You know how they have industry plants? I feel like the book of Exodus is a plant that was put in there as a means of control. But I'm going to continue reading it, but I call BS. I just don't think this is what God said. Yeah, I know it's in the Bible, but we all know they fabricated this thing. And I'm just calling BS on the book of Exodus because it ain't my bag is all I'm going to say. No, I got some, but thank you. Shut my door, please. So today we are on chapter 26, Exodus, how we read the Bible. I read, hey, Miss Tay, I read, we have commentary and talk about what we, I talk. You guys leave comments. I love when you guys comment. I know Miss Tay, because Miss Tay popped in. She showed up for her Bible study. So, we're building a community here on live with our Bible studies. We're also building community within the content. So I know a lot of you guys from commenting on the content. I know a lot of you guys from commenting in the lives, double tapping the screen, letting your presence be known. So we're on Exodus chapter 26, the tabernacle. And we read, we journal, we process, and we apply to our lives. That's why we're here. We are actively figuring out how we can apply this book to our lives. And I'm gonna keep it G. This has been showing up in my day-to-day life. Like, I've been able to utilize the principles that I have derived, not what's in these pages, because we don't take anything at face value. What I have been able to discern from our readings together. And if you missed any of the Bible studies, I always repost them on YouTube. Lonnie, Lonee, Appleton, Appleton, live, Live. So, I always repost there. So you can always catch all the other studies, as well as if you miss a part of this one and future ones. I've actually been applying these skills to my life and repeating, just like those types of things. So understanding that there are lessons to be taught from this, literal, figurative, however you apply it, it's there. But this Exodus, I'm going to tell you, it's a plant. This book was stuck in here like, we're going to stick this book in here to try to control the people. Because this literally is saying, deny your past. I'm the only God. 26, the tabernacle. Make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of finely twisted linen and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, with cherubim woven into them by a skilled worker. All the curtains are to be the same size, 28 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. Join 5 of the curtains together and do the same with the other 5. Make loops of blue material along the edge of the end curtain in one set, and do the same with the end curtain on the other set. Make 50 loops on one curtain and 50 loops on the end curtain of the other set, with the loops opposite each other. Then make 50 gold clasps and use them to fasten the curtains together so that the tabernacle is a unit. Make curtains of gold, so that the tabernacle is a unit. Take many separate things and pull them together so that they're a unit. So with your family is whatever the number of people that are in your family. I am a family of 7, I think. Yeah, I'm a family of 7. 7 individuals need to be fastened together to make a unit. That is what I'm working on, creating a family unit, which is one of the more difficult tasks that I've done in my life. Bringing 7 people and bringing them on one page, it's not easy. Make curtains of goat hair for the tent over the tabernacle, 11 altogether. All 11 curtains are to be the same size, 30 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. Join 5 of the curtains together into one set and the other 6 into another set. Fold the 6 curtain double at the front of the tent. Make 50 loops along the edge of the end curtain in one set and also along the edge of the end curtain in the other set. Then make 50 bronze clasps and put them in the loops to fasten the tent together as a unit. As for the additional length of the tent curtains, the half curtain that is left over is to hang down at the rear of the tabernacle. The 10 curtains will be a cubit longer on both sides. What is left will hang over the sides of the tabernacle so as to cover it. Make for the tent a covering of ram skin dyed red, and over that a covering of the other durable leather. Make upright frames of acacia wood for the tabernacle. Each frame is to be 10 cubits long and a cubit and a half wide, with 2 projections set parallel to each other. Make all the frames of the tabernacle in this way. Make 20 frames from the south side of the tabernacle and make 40 silver bases to go under them. 2 bases for each frame, 1 under each projection. For the other side, the north side of the tabernacle, make 20 frames and 40 silver bases, 2 under each frame. Make 6 frames for the far end, that is, the west end of the tabernacle, and make 2 frames of the corners at the far end. At these 2 corners, they must be double from the bottom all the way to the top and fit it into a single ring. Both shall be like that. So there will be 8 frames and 16 silver bases, 2 under each frame. Also make crossbars of acacia wood, 5 for the frames on one side of the tabernacle, 5 for those on the other side, and 5 for the frames on the west at the far end of the tabernacle. The center crossbar is to extend from end to end at the middle of the frames. Overlay the frames with gold and make gold rings to hold the crossbars. Also overlay the crossbars with gold. Set up the tabernacles according to the plan shown you on the mountain. Make a curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and finely twisted linen with cherubim woven into it by a skilled worker. Hang it with the gold hooks on 4 posts of acacia wood overlaid with gold and standing in 4 silver bases. Hang the curtain from the clasps and place the ark of the covenant law behind the curtain. The curtain will separate the holy place from the most holy place. Put the atonement cover on the ark of the covenant law in the most holy place. Place the table outside the curtain on the north side of the tabernacle and put the lampstand opposite it on the south side. For the entrance to the tent, make a curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, finely twisted linen, the work of an embroiderer. Make gold hooks for this curtain and 5 posts of acacia wood overlaid with gold, and cast 5 bronze bases for them. The altar of burnt offering, chapter 27. Build an altar of acacia wood 3 cubits high. It is to be square, 5 cubits long, and 5 cubits wide, making a horn at each of the 4 corners, so that the horns of the altar are of one piece. And overlay the altar with bronze. Make all of its utensils of bronze, its pots to remove the ashes, and its shovels, sprinkling bowls, meat forks, and fire pans. Make a grating for it, a bronze network, and make a bronze ring at each of the 4 corners of the network. Put it under the ledge of the altar so that it is halfway up the altar. Make poles of acacia wood for the altar and overlay them with bronze. The poles are to be inserted into the ring so that will be on 2 sides of the altar when it is carried. Make the altar hollow out of boards. It is to be made just as you were shown on the mountain. The courtyard. Oh my goodness. This right here, y'all, is discipline, because I do not want to read any of this, and it just keeps going and going and going. Can she do it? I don't want to. This doesn't seem relevant to anything except for they needed a freaking filler book. That's what Exodus is. It's a plant. The courtyard. Make a courtyard for the tabernacle. The south side shall be 100 cubits long, and is to have curtains of finely twisted linen with 20 posts and 20 bronze bases, and with silver hooks and bands on the posts. The north side shall also be 100 cubits long, and is to have curtains with 20 posts and 20 bronze bases, with the silver hooks and bands of the posts. The west end of the courtyard shall be 50 cubits wide, and have curtains with 10 posts and 10 bases. On the east end towards the sunrise, the courtyard shall also be 50 cubits wide. Curtains 50 cubits long are to be on one side of the entrance with 3 posts and 3 bases, and curtains 50 cubits long are to be on the other side with 3 posts and 3 bases. For the entrance to the courtyard, provide a curtain 20 cubits long of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and finely twisted linen, the work of an embroiderer, with 4 posts and 4 bases. All the posts around the courtyard are to have silver bands and hooks. Where'd you get that?
From Belly.
Oh, okay. Did you tell her thank you?
Yeah.
Good job. In bronze bases, the courtyard shall be 100 cubits long and 50 cubits wide, with curtains of finely twisted linen 5 cubits high, and with bronze bases. All the other articles used in the service of the tabernacle, whatever their function, including all the tent pegs for it and those for the courtyard, are to be of bronze. Oil for the lampstand. Command the Israelites to bring you clear oil of pressed olives for the light, so that the lamp may be kept burning. In the tent of meeting, outside the curtains that shields the ark of the covenant law, Aaron and his sons are to keep the lamps burning before the Lord from evening till morning. This is to be a lasting ordinance among the Israelites for the generations to come. 28. The priestly garments. Have Aaron your brother brought to you from among the Israelites, along with his sons Nabab and Abihu, Eleazar and Ithamar, so they may serve me as priests. Make sacred garments for your brother Aaron, to give him dignity and honor. Tell all the skilled workers to whom I have given wisdom in such matters that they are to make garments for Aaron for his consecration, so he may serve me as priest. These are the garments they are to make: a breastpiece, an ephod, a robe, a woven tunic, a turban, and a sash. They are to make these sacred garments for your brother Aaron and his sons, so they may serve me as priests. Have them use gold and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and fine linen. The ephod. Make the ephod of gold and the blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and of finely twisted linen, the work of a skilled hand. It is to have 2 shoulder pieces attached to 2 of its corners, so it can be fastened. Its skillfully woven waistband is to be like it, of 1 piece with the ephod, and made with gold and with blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and with finely twisted linen. Take 2 onyx stones and engrave on them the names of the sons of Israel in the order of their birth, 6 names on 1 stone and the remaining 6 on the other. Engrave the names of the sons of Israel on the 2 stones the way a gem cutter engraves a seal. Then mount the stone in gold filigree settings and fasten them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod as memorial stones for the sons of Israel. Aaron is to bear the names on his shoulders as a memorial before the Lord. Make gold filigree settings and 2 braided chains of pure gold like a rope, and attach the chains to the settings. The breastpiece. Fashion a breastpiece for making decisions, the work of skilled hands. Make it like the ephod, of gold and of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and of finely twisted linen. It is to be a square or a span long and span wide, and folded double. Then mount 4 rows of precious stones on it. The first row shall be carnelian. So here comes some more crystals. Carnelian, chrysolite, and beryl. The second row shall be turquoise, lapis lazuli, and emerald. The third row shall be jacinth, agate, and amethyst. The fourth row shall be topaz, onyx, and jasper. Mount them in gold filigree settings. Mentioning all of those. Hey Tay, mentioning all of those different crystals. Today when we went to the meeting, I noticed how the way that they have this parking lot is they have stones where the people park their cars. And I was like, that's actually a good, for a parking lot, that's actually a good design aesthetic. That's the word I was looking for. That's a good design aesthetic, because when cars have leaks and all kinds of stuff, when it's concrete, you actually got to pay to get someone to come clean the concrete. But when they have it to where it's just the stones that people park on, then you could just, rake the stones and move them around, or, buy some new stones. And Bailey was like, you wouldn't even notice that if your car didn't have a leak. And I was like, you're right. I wouldn't even have paid attention to that. So now that I know all of these different crystals and all of these things, how many times have I read the Bible and didn't even know what this was talking about? But because now it's brought into my field of awareness, now when I see it, I know that it's there. The point that I'm making is, so much life is happening around us, and we don't even know what's going on until it's brought to our attention. So pay attention to the things that you're not even paying attention to. One for each of the names of the sons of Israel, each engraved like a seal with the name of one of the 12 tribes. For the breastpiece, make braided chains of pure gold like a rope. Make 2 gold rings for it, and fasten them to 2 corners of the breastpiece. Fasten the 2 gold chains to the rings at the corners of the breastpiece, and the other ends of the chains of the 2 settings, attaching them to the shoulder pieces of the ephod at the front. Make 2 gold rings and attach them to the other 2 corners of the breastpiece on the inside edge next to the ephod. Make 2 more gold rings and attach them to the bottom of the shoulder pieces on the front of the ephod, close to the seam just above the waistband of the ephod. The rings of the breastpiece are to be tied to the rings of the ephod with blue cord connecting it to the waistband, so that the breastpiece will not swing out from the ephod. Whenever Aaron enters the holy place, he will bear the names of the sons of Israel over his heart on the breastpiece of decision as a continuing memorial before the Lord. Also put the Urim of the Thummim in the breastpiece, so they may be over Aaron's heart whenever he enters the presence of the Lord. Thus Aaron will always bear the means of making decisions of the Israelites over his heart before the Lord. Other priestly garments. Make the robe of the ephod entering a blue cloth, with an opening for the head of it in its center. There shall be a woven edge like a collar around this opening, so that it will not tear. Make pomegranates of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn around the hem of the robe, and the gold bells between them. The gold bells and the pomegranate are to alternate around the hem of the robe. Aaron must wear it when he ministers. The sound of the bell will be heard when he enters the holy place before the Lord, and when he comes out, so that he will not die. Make a plate of pure gold and engrave it on it as on a seal, holy to the Lord. Fasten a blue cord to it to attach it to the turban. It is to be on the front of the turban. It will be on Aaron's forehead, and he will bear the guilt involved in the sacred gifts that the Israelites consecrate, whatever their gifts may be. It will be on Aaron's forehead continually, so that they will be acceptable to the Lord. Weave the tunic of fine linen and make the turban of fine linen. The sash is to be the work of an embroiderer. Make tunic sashes and caps for Aaron's son, to give them dignity and honor. After you put these clothes on your brother Aaron and his sons, anoint and ordain them. Consecrate them so they may serve me as priests. Make linen undergarments as a covering for the body, reaching from the waist to the thigh. Aaron and his sons must wear them whenever they enter the tent of meeting or approach the altar to minister in the holy place, so that they will not incur guilt and die. This is to be lasting ordinance for Aaron and his descendants. Chapter 29, Consecration of the Priest. This is what you are to do to consecrate them, so they may serve me as priests. Take a young bull and 2 rams without defect, and from the finest wheat flour make round loaves without yeast, thick loaves without yeast and with olive oil mixed in, and then thin loaves without yeast and brushed with olive oil. Put them in a basket and present them along with the bull and the 2 rams. Then bring Aaron and his sons to the entrance of the tent of meeting and wash them with water. Take the garments and dress Aaron with the tunic, the robe of the ephod itself, and the breastpiece. Fasten the ephod on him by its skillfully woven waistband. Put the turban on his head and attach the sacred emblem to the turban. Take the anointing oil and anoint him by pouring it on his head. Bring his sons and dress them in tunics and fasten caps on them. Then tie sashes on Aaron and his sons. The priesthood is theirs by a lasting ordinance. Then you shall ordain Aaron and his sons. Bring the bull to the front of the tent of meeting, and Aaron and his sons shall lay their hands on its head. Slaughter it in the Lord's presence at the entrance to the tent of meeting. Take some of the bull's blood and put it on the horns of the altar with your finger, and pour out the rest of it at the base of the altar. Then take all the fat on the internal organs, the long lobe of the liver, and both kidneys with the fat on them, and burn them on the altar. But burn the bull's flesh and its hide and its intestines outside the camp. It is a sin offering. Okay, I noticed that when I'm not really trying to retain anything, I'm just reading really fast. And then when I'm trying to actually process what I'm reading, I slow down when I'm reading, because this just sounds very ritualistic to me. So I guess we're allowed to perform rituals, but only for God, not gods. Ritual is ritual. Take one of the rams, and Aaron and his sons shall lay their hands on its head. Slaughter it, and take the blood and splash it against the side of the altar. Cut the ram into pieces and wash the internal organs and the legs, putting them with the head and the other pieces. Then burn the entire ram on the altar. It is a burnt offering to the Lord, a pleasing aroma, a food offering presented to the Lord. I remember a while back seeing a picture on one of these gossip websites where I think her name is Azella Banks or whatever. She posted her closet, or it was either her or Summer Walker. They had just finished some ritual where I think it was a chicken they slaughtered or whatever, but it was like splashed with everything. And I don't remember the comments, but it would be interesting to see that post again and actually read the comments under the awareness that God asked for it to happen too. So just because you're doing your altar work, I don't know about any of this stuff, but I just reading this brings that picture to mind, because I know people were saying, oh my gosh, all that different stuff. But like, depending on how you get down with your relationship with God, capital God, depending on how you get down in that relationship, this might be how you pay spirit. You know what I'm saying? This might be how you worship. You're actually sacrificing animals, just like people do it to the lowercase gods. However you honor and I don't want to use the word worship, because it's not a form of worship. It's you're just showing your respect, whatever that looks like. But I just thought that whole slaughtering of animals, like, I knew it was in the Bible, but I didn't know the spiritual side of things. So now that I know the spiritual side of things and how negatively people talk about it who are of the religious faith, and they just talk about, oh my gosh, sacrifice and all those different things. Now, something may happen in here, because, I do know at some point all the rules change once Jesus enters the chat. Hey, sis. Once Jesus enters the chat, I know some of the rules change, but we're speaking from our field of awareness based on what we know on page 73, Exodus chapter 29. And so it just makes me wonder if people are judging simply because these practices aren't popular practices in the faith presently, but it is of the faith. It's just, I don't know. I just see a lot of hypocrisy. And I would just wonder if people see the hypocrisy. Because I see the hypocrisy that I move in. I'm a hypocrite. I see the contradictions that I live in, and I'm working to correct those things. But yes, I'm very much aware of my hypocrisies. But I wonder if there's people out there who are just so pointing, not even realize that Yeah, your faith does that too. Take the other ram. I'm really just trying to get through all this because this is boring and I don't want to keep reading all of this. Pretty much the rest of Exodus is just this stuff. The burnt offering called to Moses and spoke to him through the tent. The grain offering. Looks like Leviticus is more. So we're gonna be in this for a while. The fun of reading the Bible has halted while we read this. I might actually read the rest of this online until we get past the ordinances. Once we get past the ordinances, then we could get back online. But this, I don't want to sit here and read this because there's really, I don't know. I'm going to keep reading it. I was told to read it. I'm going to keep reading it. Take the other ram, and Aaron and his sons shall lay their hands on its head. Slaughter it, take some of its blood, and put it on the lobes of the right ears of Aaron and his sons, on the thumbs of their right hands, and on the big toe of their right feet. Like, this is ritual, y'all. In the Bible, this is ritual that God is asking to be done. This is crazy. For y'all to turn your noses up at ritual when... And take some blood from the altar and some of the anointing oil and sprinkle it on Aaron and his garments and on his son and their garments. Then he and his sons and their garments will be consecrated. Take from this ram the fat and the fat tail, the fat on the internal organs, the long lobe of the liver, both kidneys with the fat on them, and the right thigh. This is the ram for the ordination. From the basket of bread made without yeast, which is before the Lord, take 1 round loaf, 1 thick with olive oil mixed in, and 1 thin loaf. Put all these in the hands of Aaron and his sons, and have them wave them before the Lord as a wave offering. Then take them from his hands and burn them on the altar along with the burnt offering for a pleasant aroma to the Lord, a food of offering presented to the Lord. After you take the breast of the ram for Aaron's ordination, wave it before the Lord as a wave offering, and it will be your share. Consecrate those parts of the ordination ram that belong to Aaron and his sons, the breast that was waved and the thigh that was presented. This is always to be the perpetual share from the Israelites for Aaron and his sons. It is the contribution the Israelites are to make to the Lord from their fellowship offering. Aaron's sacred garments will belong to his descendants so that they can be anointed and ordained in them. The son who succeeds him as priest and comes to the tent of meeting to minister in the holy place is to wear them 7 days. Take the ram to the ordination and cook the meat in the sacred place at the entrance to the tent of meeting. Aaron and his sons are to eat the meat of the ram and the bread that is in the basket. They are to eat these offerings by which atonement was made for their ordination and consecration, but no one else may eat them because they are sacred. And if any of the meat of the ordination ram or any bread is left over till morning, burn it up. It must not be eaten because it is sacred. Do for Aaron and his sons everything I have commanded you, taking 7 days to ordain them. Sacrifice a bull every day as a sin offering to make an atonement. Purify the altar by making atonement for it, and anoint it to consecrate it. For 7 days make atonement for the altar and consecrate it. Then the altar will be most likely, and whatever touches it will be holy, most holy, and whatever touches it will be holy. This is what you are to offer on the altar regularly each day. 2 lambs a year old. Offer one in the morning and the other at twilight. With the first lamb, offer 1/10 of an ephah, and the finest flour mixed with 1/4 of hin of oil from pressed olives, and 1/4 of hin of wine as a drink offering. Sacrifice the other lamb at twilight with the same grain offering and its drink offering as in the morning, a pleasing aroma of food offering presented to the Lord. For the generations to come, this burnt offering is to be made regularly at the entrance of the tent of meeting before the Lord. There I will meet you and speak to you. There also I will meet with the Israelites, and the place will be consecrated by my glory. So I will consecrate the tent of meeting and the altar, and will consecrate Aaron and his sons to serve me as priests. Then I will dwell among the Israelites and be their God. They will know that I am the Lord their God, who brought them out of Egypt, so that I might dwell among them. I am the Lord their God. Chapter 30, the altar of incense. Make an altar of acacia wood for burning incense. It is to be square, a cubit long and a cubit wide, and 2 cubits high. Its horns of one piece with it. Overlay the top and all the sides of the horns with pure gold, and make a gold molding around it. Make 2 gold rings for the altar below the molding, 2 on each of the opposite sides, to hold the poles used to carry it. Make the poles of acacia wood and overlay them with gold. Put the altar in front of the curtain that shields the ark of the covenant law. Before the atonement cover that is over the tablets of the covenant law, where I will meet with you. Aaron must burn fragrant incense on the altar every morning when he tends the lamps. He must burn incense again when he lights the lamps at twilight, so incense will burn regularly before the Lord for the generations to come. Do not offer on this altar any other incense or any burnt offering or grain offering, and do not pour a drink offering on it. Once a year Aaron shall make atonement on its horns. This annual atonement must be made with the blood of the anointing sin offering for the generations to come. It is most holy to the Lord. Atonement money. Then the Lord said to Moses, when you take a census of the Israelites to count them, each one must pay the Lord a ransom for his life at the time he is counted. Then no plague will come on them when you number them. Each one who crosses over to those already counted is to give a half shekel, according to the sanctuary shekel, which weighs 20 gerahs. This half shekel is an offering to the Lord. All who cross over, those 20 years old or more, are to give an offering to the Lord. The rich are not to give more than a half shekel, and the poor are not to give less. When you make the offering to the Lord to atone for your lives, receive the atonement money from the Israelites and use it for the service of the tent of meeting. It will be a memorial for the Israelites before the Lord, making atonement for your lives. Basin for washing. Then the Lord said to Moses, make a bronze basin with a bronze stand for washing. Place it between the tent of meeting and the altar, and put water in it. Aaron and his sons are to wash their hands and feet with water from it. Whenever they enter the tent of meeting, they shall wash with water, so that they will not die. Also, when they approach the altar to minister by presenting a food offering to the Lord, they shall wash their hands and feet that they will not die, so they will not die. This is to be a lasting ordinance for Aaron and his descendants for the generations to come. Anointing oil. Then the Lord said to Moses, take the following fine spices, 500 shekels of liquid myrrh, half as much, this is 250 shekels of fragrant cinnamon, 250 shekels of fragrant calamus, 500 shekels of cassie, all according to the sanctuary shekel, and a hin of olive oil. Make these into sacred anointing oil, a fragrant blend, the work of perfumer. It will be the sacred anointing oil. Then use it to anoint the tent of meeting, the ark of the covenant law, the table and all its articles, the lampstand and its accessories, the altar of incense, the altar of burnt offering and all its utensils, and the basin with its stand. You shall consecrate them, so they will be most holy, and whatever touches them will be holy. Anoint Aaron and his sons and consecrate them, so they may serve me as priests. Say to the Israelites, this is to be my sacred anointing oil for the generations to come. Do not pour it on anyone else's body, and do not make any other oil using the same formula. It is sacred, and you are to consider it sacred. Whoever makes perfume like it and puts it on anyone other than a priest must be cut off from their people. Incense. Then the Lord said to Moses, take fragrant spices, gum resin, onycha, and galbanum, and pure frankincense, all in equal amounts, and make a fragrant blend of incense, the work of a perfumer. It is to be salted and pure and sacred. Grind some of it to powder and place it in front of the ark of covenant law in the tent of meeting, where I will meet with you. It shall be most holy to you. Do not make any incense with this formula for yourselves. Consider it holy to the Lord. Whoever makes incense like it to enjoy its fragrance must be cut off from their people. Chapter 31, Bezalel and Oholiab. Then the Lord said to Moses, see, I have chosen Bezalel, son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, and I have filled him with the Spirit of God, with wisdom, with understanding, with knowledge, and with all kinds of skills, to make artistic designs for work in gold, silver, and bronze, to cut and set stones, to work in wood, and to engrave in all kinds of crafts. Moreover, I have appointed Oholiab, son of Ahisamach, and the tribe of Dan, to help him. Also, I have given ability to all the skilled workers to make everything I have commanded you, the tent of meeting and the ark of the covenant law with the atonement cover on it, and all the other furnishings of the tent, the table and its articles, the pure gold lampstand and all its accessories, the altar of incense, the altar of burnt offering and all its utensils, the basin with its stand, and also the woven garments, both the sacred garments for Aaron the priest and the garments for his sons when they serve as priests, and the anointing oil and fragrant incense for the holy place. They are to make them just as I commanded you. The Sabbath. Then the Lord said to Moses, say to the Israelites, you must observe my Sabbath. This will be a sign between me and you for the generations to come, so you may know that I am the Lord who makes you holy. Observe the Sabbath because it is holy to you. Anyone who desecrates it is to be put to death. Those who do any work on that day must be cut off from their people. For 6 days' work it is to be done, but the seventh day is a day of Sabbath rest, holy to the Lord. Whoever does any work on the Sabbath day is to be put to death. The Israelites are to observe the Sabbath, celebrating it for the generations to come as a lasting covenant. It will be a sign between me and the Israelites forever, for in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. When the Lord finished speaking to Moses in Mount Sinai, he gave him the 2 tablets of the covenant law and tablets of stone inscribed by the finger of God. Chapter 32, the golden calf. Hey, Kendra, hey. All right, we might be done with all the measurements. Let's see what happens with the golden calf. When the people saw that Moses was so long in coming down from the mountain, they gathered around Aaron and said, come, make us gods who will go before us. As for this fellow Moses who brought us up out of Egypt, we don't know what has happened to him. Thank you for the love. Aaron answered them, take off the gold earrings that your wives, your sons, and your daughters are wearing and bring them to me. So all the people took off their earrings and brought them to Aaron. He took what they handed him and made it into an idol cast in the shape of a calf, fashioned it with a tool. Then he said, these are your gods, Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt. Ooh, shouldn't have said that part. When Aaron saw this, he built an altar in front of the calf and announced, tomorrow there will be a festival to the Lord. So the next day the people rose early and sacrificed burnt offerings and presented fellowship offerings. Afterward they sat down to eat and drink and got up to indulge in revelry. Then the Lord said to Moses, go down, because your people, whom you brought up out of Egypt, have become corrupt. They have been quick to turn away from what I commanded them and have made themselves an idol cast in the shape of a calf. They have bowed down to it and sacrificed to it and have said, 'These are your gods, Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt.'" I think they were doing good until they said brought you up out of Egypt part. God ain't playing seconds to nobody. I understand that, but thank you for the love. Mind games, thank you for the love. Then the Lord said to Moses, "I have seen these people," the Lord said to Moses, "and they are a stiff-necked people. Now leave me alone so that my anger may burn against them and that I may destroy them. Then I will make you into a great nation." Man. But Moses sought the favor of the Lord his God. "Lord," he said, "why should your anger burn against your people whom you brought out of Egypt with great power and a mighty hand? Why should the Egyptians say, 'It was with evil intent that he brought them out to kill them in the mountain and to wipe them off the face of the earth'? Turn from your fierce anger, relent, and do not bring disaster on your people. Remember your servant Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, to whom you swore by your own self, 'I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky, and I will give your descendants all this land I promised them, and it will be their inheritance forever.' And then the Lord relented and did not bring on his people the disaster he had threatened." God is a little threatening guy, ain't he? But he took accountability. He was like, you're right, you got me. So he fell back. But it's just like, boom. I understand why our families are so punitive. As soon as somebody makes a mistake or somebody does something, we like, I get it. Moses turned and went down the mountain with the 2 tablets of the covenant law in his hands. They were inscribed on both sides, front and back. The tablets were the work of God. The writing was the writing of God engraved on the tablets. When Joshua heard the noise of the people shouting, he said to Moses, "There is a sound of war in the camp." Moses replied, "It is not the sound of victory. It is not the sound of defeat. It is the sound of singing that I hear." When Moses approached the camp and saw the calf and the dancing, his anger burned and he threw the tablets out of his hands. "Oh, Moses, breaking them to pieces at the foot of the mountain. You did all that work for 40 days just to throw them on the ground? Didn't seem smart to me." And he took the calf to the people and the people had made and burned it in the fire. Then he ground it. I wonder if he picked the calf up. Was it a big calf or was it a small calf? How did he pick the calf up? Did he have the people help him move the calf? Did Aaron have to help him move the calf since Aaron let the calf? I think Aaron made the calf. I just want to know. See, now I'm starting to visualize, and I'm like, could he? Because gold is heavy. You know what I'm saying? Was it a hollow calf or was it a solid calf? I need to know. That's a lot of work, I'm just saying. Scattered it on the water and made the Israelites drink it. Let's go. Burnt the calf in the fire. Then he ground it into powder, scattered in the water, and then made the Israelites drink it. Dang. I remember some girls telling me that their punishments was their father, and I've heard somebody else say this. So it was a thing. Whenever they got in trouble, their father would make them put salt on their sister's back and lick the salt off of their back. I don't know. Don't ask any questions. But burning the calf, grinding it up into powder, and having them, and then putting it in the water and then having them drink it is kind of along the lines of, go get the salt. You bend over, put the salt on her back, and lick the salt off. It's weird. It's weird. No judgment, though. He said to Aaron, "What did these people do to you, that you led them into such great sin?" "Do not be angry, my lord," Aaron answered. "You know how prone these people are to evil. They said to me, 'Make us gods who will go before us.' As for this fellow Moses who brought us up out of Egypt, we don't know what has happened to him. So I told them, 'Whoever has any gold jewelry, take it off.' Then they gave me the gold, and I threw it into the fire, and out came this calf." That's what happened, Aaron. Moses saw that the people were running wild and that Aaron had let them get out of control and so become and so become a laughing stock to their enemies. So he stood at the entrance to the camp and said, "Whoever is for the Lord, come to me." And all Levites rallied to him. And all the Levites rallied to him. Then he said to them, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Each man strap a sword to his side. Go back and forth through the camp from one end to the other, each killing his brother and friend and neighbor." The Levites did as Moses commanded, and that day about 3,000 of the people died. Then Moses said, "You have been set apart to the Lord today, for you were against your own sons and brothers, and he has blessed you this day." This is another moment where I want to take this book and throw it. Like, this what we doing? I call foul. I call foul. I ain't gonna say I don't believe it, but this is just coonery and buffoonery. I done lost my page, y'all. Coonery and buffoonery. The next day, Moses said to the people, "You have committed a great sin, but now I will go up to the Lord. Perhaps I can make atonement for your sin." What was the sin? Dancing and celebrating the calf, or killing people for dancing and celebrating the calf? Hey, friend. So Moses went back to the Lord and said, "Oh, what a great sin these people have committed. They have made themselves gods of gold. But now please forgive their sin. But if not, then blot me out of the book you have written." The Lord replied to Moses, "Whoever has sinned..." Hello, dear. "Whoever has sinned against me, I will blot out of my book. Now go lead the people to the place I spoke of, and my angel will go before you. However, when the time comes for me to punish, I will punish them for their sins." Killing them wasn't punishment enough. Like, what's going on here? This is the foolery. This is the foolery. And the Lord struck the people with a plague because of what they did with the calf Aaron had made. Didn't we already say just like a page ago we wasn't going, if we did something that we wasn't going to get hit with no plagues, and now you're going to tell us that we getting hit with plagues because of the calf? And is it like in true God fashion, did everybody get punished, or did he punish specific people? That stuff, y'all. That stuff. Chapter 33. Maybe. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Leave this place, and you and the people you brought up out of Egypt, and go up to the land I promised on oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, I will give it to your descendants. I will send an angel before you and drive out the Canaanites, Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Hivites," get down off of that, "Jebusites. Go up to the land flowing with milk and honey. But I will not go with you because you are a stiff-necked people, and I might destroy you on the way." Yeah, God, give me 50 feet, God, because you stiff-necked. I don't know what stiff-necked means, but if it means inflexible, stiff-necked, can't move it, I don't know what it means, but yeah, go on over there. Give me some wiggle room. When the people heard these distressing words, they began to mourn, and no one put on any ornaments. For the Lord had said to Moses, "Tell the Israelites, you are a stiff-necked people. If I were to go with you even for a moment, I might destroy you. Now take off your ornaments, and I will decide what to do with you." So the Israelites stripped off their ornaments at Mount Horeb, the tent of meeting. Now Moses used to take a tent and pitch it outside the camp some distance away, calling it the tent of meeting. No, I don't want to keep doing this with you. Anyone inquiring of the Lord would go to the tent of meeting outside the camp. And whenever Moses went out to the tent, all the people rose and stood at the entrance to their tents, watching Moses until he entered the tent. As Moses went into the tent, the pillar of cloud would come down and stay at the entrance, while the Lord spoke with Moses. Whenever the people saw the pillar of cloud standing at the entrance to the tent, they all stood and worshiped, each at the entrance to their tent. The Lord would speak to Moses face to face as one speaks to a friend. Then Moses would return to the camp, but his young aide Joshua, son of Nun, did not leave the tent. Thank you for the lovely. Moses in the glory of the Lord. Moses said to the Lord, you have been telling me, lead these people, but you have not let me know whom you will send with me. You have said, I know you by name, and you have found favor with me. If you are pleased with me, teach me your ways so I may know you and continue to find favor with you. Remember that this nation is your people. The Lord replied, my presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. Then Moses said to him, if your presence does not go with us, do not send us up from here. How will anyone know that you are pleased with me and with your people unless you go with us? What else will distinguish me and your people from the other people on the face of the earth? Let's find out, y'all, because I want to know what distinguishes and makes me different too. Because everybody says, my husband, like, you ain't different than nobody else. I was like, I am God's favorite. I don't know what you talk about. You may be regular, but I'm not regular. And I'm about to find out what makes me different. And the Lord said to Moses, I will do the very thing you have asked, because I am pleased with you and I know you by name. God knows you by name. Then Moses said, now show me your glory. Now show me your glory. Yeah, show me your glory, God. You've been showing me your glory. You've been doing your big. I rocks with you. I don't know if I rock with this version of you, because they painting you in a nasty pic. They painting real nasty, God. But please, I'm working. Leave me be. And you always look handsome, cutie. You want the people to see you?
Yeah.
He said, does he look handsome? You look handsome, kiddo. Okay. And the Lord said, I will cause all my goodness to pass in front of you, and I will proclaim my name, the Lord, in your presence. I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. But he said, you cannot see my face, for no one may see me and live. Then the Lord said, there is a place near me where you may stand on a rock, whom my glory passes by. I will put you in a cleft in the rock and cover you with my hand until I have passed by. Then I will remove my hand and you will see my back, but my face must not be seen. All right, y'all. We made it through. We made it through the tabernacle. We made it through the anointing oil and the incense and the money and the altars and the consecrations. We made it through all that. That was tough, y'all. I was like, I already told you when I first started these Bible studies, I am not going to read through the begats, and I ain't going to read all the measurements of the omers and the other stuff. But I did it. I was obedient. So I'm going to pat myself on the back because I pushed through something that I did not want to do. And those of you who have sat through this hour today, y'all seen me many times go, because I'm just like, my goodness, I want to skip past this. But I wasn't told to skip. I was told to read. So I was obedient. So if there's something that you are being called on in life, if you are doing the work on yourself and you're just like, I don't even see the point, like, this is silly. It's not for us to see why we're being called to do what it is that we're called to do. Is to test us. Are you going to be obedient? That's it. Are you going to show up for you or not? That's it. It's not for us to understand. It's not for us to like, oh yeah, because this piece is going to be a big, important piece. Who knows what this piece is? I call foul so far this whole book. I'm just like, yeah, y'all, this is a plant chapter. Y'all put this book in here as a plant to break the spirits of the African people and the captive people. Everything that you have believed to be true up until now, that we introduced this book into your life, is a lie. It's a sin. And you're going to go to the burning place if you practice those things. That's all I see Exodus as right now. I ain't got nothing to say nice about Exodus. But how I have grown is I have pushed through. I have been confronted with something that I don't respect, that I don't believe aligns with the God that I choose to walk with. But I'm still going to push through and show up for myself as instructed. So that's what I'm leaving this Bible study with. My schedule's gonna get a little wonky. I will tell you guys what's going on the day before from now on. Tomorrow is Thursday, so I will be here at 12 noon Mountain Standard Time. It is presently 1:28, so an hour and a half before now. I will be on live to do Bible study tomorrow. And yeah, we'll just play it day by day because I'm working now and my schedule is going to be up and down, and I will be here daily. I just don't know what time. So I know it'll be hard to catch me, but guaranteed I repost all of my lives on YouTube, Lonnie Appleton Live. So LONEEAPPLETONLIVE. So check me out there. You'll always catch the reposts of all my lives there. Thank you for the love, Kendra. You can always shop the merch at LonnieLifestyle.com. Link in bio. You can pick up my books. I'm a 2-time published author. One is urban fiction. The other one is on the self-help, self-healing. Honestly, a guidebook. I channeled it from higher consciousness, so it wasn't a bunch of stuff that I picked up. Well, it is a bunch of stuff that I picked up because I had to find the skills, but after I found the skills, God helped me implement those things to where I started triggering ascensions knowingly. Like, I can push myself into ascensions. It's not, oh, I wonder if this is happening. No, I know how to cause ascensions. And so that's what that book is talking about. Also with the content. So just if you're not already following the content, become a member of the community and just absorb the content. If the language that I'm using in my videos isn't making any sense to you, but there's something there, just go deeper into the content, because the way that I speak now, it has come to pass. I did not start utilizing the language that I use now. So any step that you're in your journey, you can find the content that speaks to you and then walk it up. As you evolve and ascend, walk it up and evolve and ascend with it. So it's a growth process. We are here to wake up. We are here to truly be in our energetic transformation, our knowing of who and what God is to us and for us. And if you wanted to support the community, pick up the merch, pick up the books. You can also just donate directly to the Cash App, Lonnie Appleton, link in bio, or you can just book your coaching services. I am a certified life and relationship coach. I am also a mentor, so if you need more hands-on, day-to-day checking in with me and say, hey, Lonnie, hey, color me stylish, hey, Lonnie, this is what I'm working on, and when we could bounce back and forth, we could work through the mentorship. I also produce what are called energy worksheets, where, you tell me there's a specific thing you're working on, and I generate a worksheet for you to work through, and you'll realize, hey, I came here for confidence, and there's like 20 other things that I have uncovered through this worksheet. So it's a beautiful experience, a healing journey. Everyone who has done an energy worksheet has really just come back to me like, man, I was crying just reading through the worksheet. And just now that I'm doing the work, really coming into a knowing of self. So those are $66, really affordable. You could DM me or, check out my website, LonnieLifestyle.com. I also just channel messages from higher consciousness. So if you have some questions, that you've been contemplating and you just need a little maybe confirmation, or if you don't have the connectivity, I can connect in with for you and, just channel those messages on your behalf from higher consciousness. So there's always something fun to be found over here on As the Apple Turns and LonnieLifestyle.com. So thank you. Do your journaling. I don't know if there is much to take away from Exodus, except for, can we get up out of Exodus? Can we exit Exodus? Because I'm not enjoying this experience at all. I feel like this was a chapter that was put in to start implementing the control of the mind. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much. And tomorrow at noon, Mountain Standard Time, an hour and a half ago, I will be here. So have a great day.